give me a story that's my own. I am not who you tell me I am. I design myself, I define myself. We all do what we...
Welcome to Misled. I'm Lana.
And I'm Kiana. Today on Misled, we're going to speak of colorism within the African American community. I know personally I've experienced negative references when it comes to the color of my skin tone. How about you, Lana?
Yeah, growing up it was always hard being darker than my sisters and my cousins. I always felt like I was treated differently. So today we're going to talk to two business partners, Stacks and Chuck Fisher, about their experiences with colorism over the years. So my first question to both of you is, what is the first time you can remember that your color or your complexion mattered and it was going to make people treat you differently?
I mean, well, for me, it was a little different because I kind of went to mostly predominantly white schools. So obviously, they might be a little more intimidated because I have a darker skin complexion. I mean, and you know, I grew up in the early 90s, late 80s. You already know, back then, light-skinned guys were a little more, you know, acceptable than the darker complected guys. So, you know, I mean, it was a challenge, but not really, because you got to think other things weigh in on that, like your personality, you know, how you kind of interact with people. And I really didn't have a problem with my skin tone per se, as opposed to them having a problem with my skin tone. So, you know, that's pretty much where that was for me.
Okay, so we know that your name is Chuck, well, at least that's your nickname.
Right.
Do you want to give the background behind your nickname?
Most people think that it has something to do with my complexion. I mean, it is kind of like a little play on words because yes, I'm darker complected, but it has nothing to do with my complexion. I have an older cousin whose name is James Falk, and that was his nickname when he was kind of running around out here in the city doing his thing, and we resemble each other. What people might think is because, you know, I'm dark complected, like chocolate means chocolate, but nah, that ain't.
Could that be where he got his nickname from? Was he dark skinned?
Yeah, I mean, he was like darker than me.
So he could have originated.
I mean, but that's not where mine is, where I was from.
It was right. So I'm gonna ask you, Stacks. What if someone asked you what complexion are you? What would you say?
I would tell them I'm light brown.
No, but why aren't you saying that you're light skinned? Why?
Because that's just what I see. That's what I believe. I mean, that's just my opinion. I mean, others may think that I'm light skinned because they're darker than me, but as a black man in America, I just feel that I'm a black man in America. No matter how light I want to say I want to be, or how light somebody else think I may be, I'm black.
Right.
Okay. One common critique of black men is that once they've established themselves or become rich and famous, and you see this a lot with athletes, is that they go and get a white woman or a lighter complected black woman, the lightest that they can get. You look at like Kobe Bryant and a lot of different athletes, their wives are lighter complected. What do you guys have to say about that? Do you think there's this stigma that as soon as you made it, you need to go and get like somebody like, yeah, just answer that question.
Right. I mean, I think it's people living up to media standards. It says that it's easier for you to accept a lighter tone woman and say that she's attractive over a darker one. Like, for years, and even myself, like, I fell victim to, you know, the stereotypes. You might be quick to say, man, this light-skinned chick is bad, but the darker chick who, you know, might be as pretty, you're not going to look at her first because the lighter chick might stick out to you, you know, from the rip. So
I think that comes from, you know, the media, the magazines. Like you said, just living up to those standards. Like, okay, you get a certain amount of money, your girl supposed to look a certain amount, certain type of way. And I also believe it's economical too. Like, as far as when somebody money goes to another level, they feel it's like by them being rich, they have the option to be with whoever they want. And I believe a lot of black men feel insecure about taking black women on that ride with them because they think it's all about money, and they rather, you know, not saying that all white people are rich, but I believe, you know, some of the white girls they probably meet already had money when they met them in college or wherever they met them. So it's like, oh, they not out just to get me for my money. But the stereotype of Shanika from the hood that you met in the club, she might just be out for your check.
Okay. Okay, so do you guys have a dating preference when it comes to complexion?
Black of the berry, sweet of the juice.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that's cool, but
Be honest.
I like them all, but you know, I like all flavors, man. I don't discriminate. I mean, I like all races.
So light skinned girl, gorgeous, walking down the street. Dark skinned girl, gorgeous, walking right next to you. Which one would you go to?
If you're pretty, you're pretty. I'm
Yeah,
if you
that's
bad, if you bad, you stick out to me, and you attract to me. That's what I'm attracted.
You're not gonna be swayed any kind of way.
It's not hard. She's lighter. She's darker. She's Chinese. She's
that's why I said you gotta give me more. If she's nice, and her attitude, if it matches what she looks like, that's even better.
Okay. So can the both of you name just one thing that you feel that we could do to move forward?
I don't really think it's a whole lot that can be done because of what's been already set in place.
I mean, I say one thing after that. I think we also need to embrace who we are.
Exactly. Be comfortable with
yourself. Be comfortable, because you know what I mean. Like embrace your heritage, embrace your color. If you dark, embrace that melanin in your skin. If you got coarse hair, embrace your coarse hair.
And I like what you said about being comfortable, because if you're comfortable as a brown person, then you won't relate yourself to that light-skinned person, because you know I'm brown, I'm beautiful, light or dark. So I like what you said. So thank you guys for being here.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Our first episode. Thanks so much.
And coming up, we have rapper Chill Moody. He's going to talk about his inspiration behind the song "The Black of the Berry." So stay tuned. We caught up with West Philadelphia rapper Chill Moody about his song "The Black of the Berry," dedicated to loving your complexion.
Me and Hank have been putting out a Valentine's Day project every year, and this was the second one of the trilogy at this point. And in creating the music, you know, we try to talk about all different types of, or all different things that happen in a relationship, whether it be, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever. And we try to have something somewhat socially aware, or you know, social awareness or whatever in the project, involved in the project. Brandy, who's featured on the song, had heard what I was writing, and she was like, "Oh, I got a poem that kind of fits with that." So when she started spitting a poem, I got her to come to the studio. She spit the whole poem, and I just chopped up different parts and put them on like different parts of the beat to kind of make it into a song.
He did have like a finite idea of what he wanted, and the poem, like I said, I already had something that kind of fit the mold of what he was working with. And after like listening to his music and liking what I heard, I felt like what I had would be a compliment to that. And it's definitely like, that's one of my staple pieces. I'm very like, most people know me for that piece. So it was definitely a piece that I felt comfortable putting out there that I thought would be well received and needed to be heard.
I think all musical artists should some way or another know about their social responsibility, and whether it's colorism or racism or I don't know, voting, whatever, you have a social responsibility if you're on the platform to deliver a message. So I do think more artists should do things like that. I don't think you only should do that. I mean, it's other things, you know, we make music for, but I think that should be one of the things.
Beneath the burden of broken promises, words unspoken.
To hear more from Chill Moody, including The Black of the Berry, visit www.chillmoody.com.
The other day.
Infatuated with everything that you stand for. I just wish you would demand more. They try and argue that you're worth it, they worthless. I call you perfect, outlandish, but you deserve it and so much more. You should know that society stunts self-esteem. Seems hard for you to show that, but I'm well aware. This crown know how well you wear upon the throne like no.
Coming up on part 2 of Misled.
He told me one time, you know, if you are with a black man and he's dark skinned, and he says that I only date light skinned women, run, don't deal with him. You know, and it was like, why? You know, really trying to think about that. I'm young, I'm 15, trying to understand that, but I understood that, well, I guess it's some sort of self-hatred that's happening, so I can't deal with that. So I was conscious at a level.
I designed myself.